Hey guys, welcome to the Fitness Entrepreneur Show with me, Phil Graham, and today I'm going to be looking at the legend, Warren Buffett, an absolute mammoth in the world of global investing, wealth creation, and all things business. And I'm going to be dissecting some of his thoughts and giving you my insights, my overview on how I feel about it and how it relates to the fitness industry and business in general. Let's get ready to hear what big Warren Buffett has to say.
Well, I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that they give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves them. You know.
Warren makes a really important distinction here, especially between revenue and impact. And I have always been a firm believer that you must chase impact over revenue. When you focus on impact over revenue, you're able to inspire people, you're able to transform people's lives, provided that you've got an entrepreneurial mindset behind it, an understanding of fair exchange, to know that you must get paid in order to provide somebody with a service, in order to allow you to feed yourself and also continue to deliver that service at a high and excellent level, then you will become a great entrepreneur. But if you keep impact at the forefront of your mind, what's going to happen is you're going to help transform a lot of lives. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to really value and respect you and ultimately recognize your effort and your contribution in the world. You're going to be able to leave a legacy, and as a result of that, revenue is going to follow. So impact first, serving others, giving them value, creating a system and a mechanism to facilitate fair exchange, pricing it accordingly, or if you've reached high levels of really high wealth and you can give it back to the world in philanthropy, you're going to be able to leave a legacy, help a lot of people, and change a lot of lives and attract a tribe of people that ultimately love the work that you do. I'm a firm believer in business. When you chase impact over revenue, you'll be far more sustainable, you'll be far more liked, you'll be far more recognized, and it's a lot more fulfilling work. But you absolutely must be able to recognize the component of fair exchange, because if you don't have the resources behind you, then it's going to be very, very hard to make a proper impact with limited resources and limited finance. And not only is it going to stress you out, it's going to cause you a great deal of pain if you don't recognize that. And ultimately, you're going to hinder your ability to grow and help others and ultimately help yourself.
It's really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when, obviously, you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy. And the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business, but the partner in life is the most important one. You want to pick a spouse that's better than you are, and then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast.
Warren talks about environment and the people that you surround yourself with. And I have said this for many, many years. The clients that you have, the friends that you spend time with at the weekend, the parents that you have, partner that you have, people that are in your closest proximity. And you can normally find that by picking up your phone and looking at the last 10 people that you've interacted with on WhatsApp or Messenger. But those are the people that ultimately create your environment. Those are the people that influence you. Those are the people that are bringing their situations, their challenges, their ideas, their gratitude, their conflict, their energy to the table every single day. Quite often when it comes to success, you will make a lot of people uncomfortable with your success, and you will outgrow certain peer groups. So you have to regularly take the time to audit and select the people that you want to surround yourself with, but also get very, very clear on what it is that you want out of a relationship. And I think that's a big distinction that a lot of people overlook and forget, is what do I actually want to get out of this relationship? You might not want to talk about business all the time. You might want to, I know for me, I love to hang around with people that are really inspired about food. that know how to cook, that know how to host, that know how to talk about wine, cigars, meat, food, cheese, whatever. Why? Because it's a really high value of mine. I love it. I get excited by it. And it's the complete opposite to the likes of somebody who's really into business, understands money, understands wealth, marketing, sales, team leadership. Quite often you get friends or colleagues that are very extreme in one area and not good in another. And you're onto a bonus if you get somebody that's, well, for me, really into business and really into food. It's a perfect complement. So you really want to get clear on the attitudes, the skills, the traits that certain people can bring into your life, and then go and look for the people that you can actually attract into your life to do that. And one thing that I've always found is reaching out to successful people and just ultimately being honest with yourself. Hey, no agenda here, just want to hang around with smart people. Can I take you for dinner? Can I do this? Can I do that? Is a great way to get introduced to higher level people. My wife and I regularly make the effort to go out with smart entrepreneurial couples so that we can see how they work, thoughts, their beliefs, their processes, how they're impacting and changing the world, how they manage their relationship throughout the course of building a business, building an empire. And of course, looking at taking from that, right, how can we make our system better? How can we make our life better? And you'll find that individuals that are grounded on impacting the world and service the world are always looking at ways as to how they can do it better, more efficient, more effectively, and who they can collab with that also relates to them and can help them deal with challenges. And it's not all about take. You have to be able to provide value in the first place as well. Like, you have to be an interesting person to hang around too. I've also come across people that all they want to do is hang around high value people and extract for their own personal gain. So you've got to be able to actually bring something to the table. So what are the things that I want to gain? What are the things that I can give? And get clear on that list and regularly audit it in order to protect your energy and state.
What kills great businesses, if you look at, I do believe in looking at history, and I like to study failure, actually. And my partner says, all I want to know is where I'll die, so I'll never go there. And we want to see what has caused businesses to go bad. And the biggest thing that kills them is complacency. I mean, you want a restlessness, a feeling that, you know, that somebody's always after you, but you're going to stay ahead of them. You always want to be on the move. And when you've got a great business, you know, like Coca-Cola, which is, there aren't any like Coca-Cola, but you really, the danger would always be that you rest on your laurels. But I see none of that, obviously, at Coca-Cola. But that is the key, to compete the same way when you've got 1.8 billion servings being sold daily as when you were selling, 10 a day. And that restlessness, that belief that tomorrow is more exciting than today, you just have to have it permeate the organization.
In a nutshell, what Warren's talking about here is avoiding mistakes. And it's very easy and very efficient to look at other people that have maybe been in the same industry or done the same thing, interview them, or reflect upon their scenario that they were involved with as to why they failed. What went wrong? What could have been done better? What do you think would have caused this? And sometimes it's going to be a rare event, a black swan event, just like what happened in 2020 to the world. Nobody was really prepared for that. Looking at how you can adapt your business from such an event. For example, if you had an online business, you were able to pivot fast, you survived. The reality is, past events, people's past failures builds preparedness. It gives you insight, it gives you wisdom of somebody that's done something that they would have done slightly differently if they were to protect themselves or avoid failure. So looking at investing in a high quality mentor or a high powered mastermind, which is full of individuals that are gung-ho about experimenting, driving their business and implementing things, is absolutely paramount, because you're going to get constant feedback as to, hey, this has worked, that hasn't worked, here's what I would do differently. And what you're doing with that is you're fast tracking growth, because you're hijacking the potential mistakes that you would make if you were to do it yourself. So it's a very smart way to do it. But don't get me wrong, just make a bold statement here. Sometimes you've actually got to pay the price of failure yourself in order to actually feel what it's like to actually do stupid things, or to actually guide you in the direction of hanging around smarter people or investing in yourself. There's so many entrepreneurs, especially in the fitness space, that are scared to invest themselves because they're afraid they're going to lose money, or they're afraid that they know it all already, or that they're not going to learn anything. All you've simply got to do is look at the people that you aspire to be, identify what is it that they're doing in their day, and I can guarantee you that there's a great teacher, a great mentor in there, a great level of curiosity around what others are doing in their field to achieve greatness, and also a great level of detail and introspection into failure of others, why they failed, not just from a business, marketing, sales standpoint, but from a mindset. Why did you think that way? What made you make that decision? How can I avoid it? Really, really useful.
If I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get in the rest of your life, you'd take care of it like you can't believe. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You'd read the owner's manual. You'd keep a garage and do all these things. And you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do the most with it.
I've been saying this for years, but your body and your mind is the vehicle that makes success happen in your life. So it's absolutely paramount that you protect it. One thing that I'm huge on is energy and state. And energy and state can be affected by your physiology, i.e. what you eat, what way you sleep, where you train, how you conduct your day, right through to your psychology in terms of how you think in your inner world and how you see the world and how you see yourself. Really making sure that you've got non-negotiables in place for body, for mind, overall performance is absolutely critical to protect your health mentally and physically. You will probably know, like, what are the main things that hold me back from being happy? Write a list down. And in that, you'll probably see, like, consuming too much social media, not eating good enough, being out of shape, not getting enough sleep, taking way too much caffeine, way too late, overthinking about a certain situation in my life that I haven't been able to look at and find meaning and transcend and turn into a beautiful lesson. You'll be able to know the key areas that are causing you a lot of frustration in your health and in your mental health as well, and getting really, really clear on the non-negotiables that you can have in place and the standards that you expect of yourself to protect yourself against it. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know I developed a journal called the Mission Ready Journal, and inside that it's got non-negotiable systems and rules and guidelines and expectations that you would set for yourself in order to protect yourself. Because when you say, I get 8 hours of sleep every night, right the whole way through to, I don't get involved in fights on social media. I don't fight with pigs because I know I'll only get dirty. Or you always show up 5 minutes early to a meeting, or you eat your 5 fruit and veg a day. You do 3 liters of water a day, whatever it is. These are like very basic principles that protect you in both mind and in body. And quite often when you're stressed and you don't have non-negotiables in place, you then eat junk food, you then sleep in, you end up watching pornography, you end up taking drugs, you end up doing alcohol, you look at quick fix stimuluses, then ruin your health, but then also ruin how you think. It's like a horrible vice of back and forth. So you've got to set standards, expectations, non-negotiables, and it doesn't need to be a massive list. Of course, you're allowed to experiment and drink and have some sleepless nights in your life. When you're trying to build an empire and you're trying to build a great business, you've got to be protected. Having non-negotiable rules and systems in place is paramount.
The nature of capitalism is that people want to come in and take your castle. It's perfectly understandable. I mean, if I'm selling television sets or something, there's going to be 10 other people that are going to try and sell a better television set. If I have a restaurant here in Omaha, people are going to try and copy my menu and give more parking and take my chef and so on. So capitalism's all about somebody coming and trying to take the castle. Now, what you need is a castle that has some durable competitive advantage, some castle that has a moat around it. And that moat, one of the best moats in many respects, is to be a low-cost producer. But sometimes the moat is just having more talent. I mean, if you're the heavyweight champion of the world and you keep knocking out people, you've got a competitive advantage as long as you can keep doing it.
Warren talks about capitalism, and I'm a firm believer that you should not be in business if you're afraid of competition. I can stand here and list forever the amount of people that have popped up as a competitor to me, have been there, failed, fell out of it, that are still there. I stick to my own lane and I know who I can serve. I know the kind of clients that I want to work with. I have a great level of conviction and confidence as to what we do for people. We've been doing it a very, very long time. That's rooted in self-belief. I know the results that we've got. I know the systems that we build. I know the level of detail that I put into the team meetings, the team that I've built, the infrastructure that I have. I am more confident in that than anybody else in the marketplace. That's really where it needs to start. It has to start with the confidence that you have in yourself and also the trust that you have in your business. And you can't just say that straight off the bat. You have to know, I've got the systems in place, I've got the team in place, I've got the dedicated thinking time to take time out to look at the landscape and actually assess what I need to do. The problem lies is when people get really busy, they don't delegate quick enough, and they get caught up in their own head and they get stressed, is when they can't think, and then they see a competitor and they get reactive. The reality is competition forces you to evolve, and it also serves the clients that just simply aren't aligned with you and are aligned with somebody else, and you're better off with that. And what I've always found is the clients that don't work with me initially sometimes eventually gravitate towards me after they've worked through a few other people. And you may have experienced the same, but you'll also realize that you'll have competition that works with a slightly different angle in respect to niche, and ultimately they're taking clients that you could never serve anyway to your fullest capacity anyway. So super insightful, super useful, but competition is healthy, competition is normal.
By far the best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, and both in writing and in person, they increase their value at least 50%. And, I mean, if you can't communicate, somebody says, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas, and that's relatively easy. I did it myself with the Dale Carnegie course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course now in terms of my talking later on, but it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.
This is a really important point, and I'm probably going to do a separate YouTube video on this at some point, but the best investment that you can make is always going to be yourself. I get asked quite a lot by many individuals in the fitness industry, what is the best thing that I can invest in? And the reality is they haven't actually built the business that generates the cash flow to allow them to actually make effective use of their investment. And they actually end up deploying capital that could be utilized to buy things for the business, whether it's a team member, software, equipment, or whatever. And they put it into stuff like Bitcoin. And they don't have the emotions or the intelligence to understand how it works. And it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And they're checking it all the time like a day trader. And the reality is they end up losing that money. You want to be able to invest in yourself. You've heard it a million times before, but invest in the skills to learn how to think properly, manage your own emotions, manage your economics, manage your money, manage your people, manage your marketing, managing sales. All of these things are really important to learn. And I definitely think in that particular order, one of the best places to start is learning how to think properly, learning how to think critically, and learning how to balance your own emotions. I have spent a large amount of money and a large amount of time refining that, and I'm still learning. And then you can start learning how to market, how to sell, how to put yourself out there, how to ask for money, how to understand money, how to take money and not feel guilty, and how to provide an exceptional service, and how to build a mindset and build a team that's dedicated to improving that service so that you can continue your operation. But it all starts with you. Like I said earlier, you are the vehicle that makes the business happen. Hope you find that insightful. We went through a couple of really important gems there. Comment below, let me know what your biggest takeaway was. If you find it useful, remember to click subscribe. So other than that, I'll see you the next time, or many more in the series of interviewing the titans and legends in business.